love your work, first of all.
Thank you.
This might be a big question, but what kind of advice did you have for young writers? Like, what did you do when you were young to kind of kickstart your career? Or were there any struggles, etc.?
The question was, what did I do to get into this bizarre career? I did not do the things that most people did, so my answer may not be generally instructive. I went to college and studied physics and then got a master's degree in computer science. So this is the last thing that I thought I was going to be doing at this point in my life. I thought I was going to be doing actual science as opposed to making fun of it on a weekly basis. But you never know how things are going to go in life. And I had what was my hobby, comedy writing at the time, just kind of took over gradually, and I would write little stories, and I wrote the humor column for my high school newspaper and things like that, but all the while thinking I would be a important scientist someday. And then I eventually got off to graduate school, and I was working really hard, and it wasn't quite as thrilling as I had hoped it would be. And so I started actually writing more and more, and I started sending it around to people, and I eventually got hired. My very first job was to write for Beavis and Butthead, which I had never heard of at that time. This was in 1992, and I was a starving graduate student, and so I didn't have cable TV or anything. I had never heard of it, and I just said, oh, it has the word bud in it. It seems like it's kind of embarrassing. I shouldn't tell my parents about this. And they were just looking for the cheapest, newest writers around, and someone handed it to someone, and basically I got a lucky break, like many people, where I sent something to, I think I sent it to David Letterman, by the way, speaking of people in the news, and they rejected it, but somebody there passed it on to Mike Judge, who had been on as a guest, said, oh, you're looking for cheap people, somebody else liked it, and so he hired me. So it was just a bizarre series of things for me, but one general piece of advice that I always give people who are writing sample TV scripts, which are called spec scripts, is even if you're watching a show and you're going, well, this isn't that good and it doesn't seem like they're trying that hard, that doesn't mean that you should not try really hard on the sample script. And some people will write maybe 10 scripts and say, here you go, I've got 10 scripts, you're going to like one of these. That's not the way to go. Work really hard on 1 or 2 scripts for shows that you know really well, and then devote your efforts to trying to get somebody to look at them. That's the hardest part always. But really careful outline, a lot of thought going into it, and try to make it better than the real show that you're writing the sample material for. So don't shoot in all directions. Shoot really hard in one direction.
Thank you.
Sure. Hi.
Hi. Can you explain the frog at the beginning?
The
frog at the beginning.
The frog, well, that's the Hypnotoad, who has appeared in a couple of episodes before. He is a TV celebrity of the year 3000 who has a 100% share of the audience in his time slot due to some sort of power he has over the audience. People who have seen the show regularly may have seen him. He's appeared a few times, but he makes his biggest appearance actually in the first of the DVD movies we did, Bender's Big Score. We actually did a full-length half-hour version of the Hypnotoad show, which is either the worst or the best thing ever made, depending on your opinion of Hypnotoad, because it's about 22 minutes of what you just saw, a buzzing toad.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. During the controversy, how did you lure the original cast back, and when will there be a 2-hour Futurama Simpsons crossover movie in the theaters?
I like what I'm hearing. Well, first of all, for the second part, you might want to get the petition going right now, and I'll be the first one to sign it. I'll answer that first, because I always thought Futurama would be ideal for a feature movie, a theatrical movie, because it's... I mean, even as much as I love The Simpsons, I think Futurama lends itself to that sort of epic thing. It has space battles and it has giant monsters, and I just think it would be great in a theater. And we tried to do a little bit of that kind of the more theatrical looking stuff in the DVD movies. But again, it's on the TV size. But we did the widescreen and the surround sound and stuff, and I thought it was great. And I think that's our advertisement for Fox to try to make the movie. But again, that's as Phil Lamar was saying earlier, if some of you heard him, there's 18 divisions of Fox. So we work with the TV studio. That's the animation wing of the film studio, and we don't actually know those people, and they've got their own pet projects going, so it's hard. It's hard to make that transition, but I would love to do that. And then as far as the cast, some of you may have seen this in the news or on the internet. We did have a bump in the road on the way to coming back to life for Comedy Central. Fox made a grand announcement, we're coming back, but they omitted to mention that they had not hired the cast back yet at that point. And really, Futurama would not really be quite the same without our cast, because I think we have the best voice cast that has ever been assembled for any animated show. And it was kind of portrayed as a real big deal in some of the coverage of it, but really that's kind of the way business operates in Hollywood, and everybody wants to push things to the brink to try to get the best deal, and it makes sense in a way. It makes sense for the actors, the writers, and the studio to all kind of threaten each other a little bit and jockey for position, but it was really a business dealing between the cast and the Fox studio. It was relations, in my opinion, relations between me and the writers and Matt Groening and the cast are great. I mean, I love all of them, and they know that. So it was never a personal thing. It was a business thing, and it was resolved. But one other great thing about this event today is we went to a convention, Comic-Con, in San Diego over the summer, and we had a big panel scheduled, but the cast had not been signed yet at that point. So we had to do a version of the panel, which was a wimpier version of the panel, because it was just me and a couple of the writers. We could not get any of the cast members to come out there. We weren't allowed to by Fox because they hadn't made the deal yet. So this is kind of a grand reunion for us as far as these things go. So it was just really nice for all of us to get to come together here today. And tomorrow we'll be doing a group panel, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you. A big fan of your show.
Thank you.
Okay, so you were with Fox. Fox didn't kind of work out, Comedy Central, now you're kind of going back. So, are they going to leave you alone now? I mean, how's it going to work for you here?
What was the last part?
Are they going to leave you alone now? They're just going to let you do your thing, or what?
They're letting us do our thing. It's another. This is the genius of Matt Groening, and the power of Matt Groening has really made this show what it is. And although he's not here today, I don't want anyone to think that Matt Groening is this distant figurehead. He is involved with Futurama, and it was really his creation from the beginning. And he has always taken a very strong stand that both in The Simpsons and Futurama, it has to really be the work of the creative team, and not the work of a lot of executives and a lot of notes all being muddled together. So it's kind of a weird thing, but it's our own thing, and Comedy Central has generously agreed to respect the process. So yeah, we're getting to do it as we always have.
Has that changed the budget at all for you guys, or the same budget?
Yeah, we've had to make some adjustments. The quality of the animation will not suffer at all. It'll be beautiful. I don't think the quality of anything will suffer from your point of view. What we've done is a couple of things. We have a few less writers. However, we're getting by quite well, because I was able to hire back a staff entirely composed of veteran writers from the original TV run. So it's a lot of our top writers, and it's going quite smoothly so far. So we have to cut back on the number of writers a little bit, but that's working out okay. And the other thing we've done is we're moving a little bit of the animation production overseas that used to be done locally. But Rough Draft Studios, who produce their animation, and by the way, I have to give my tremendous thanks not only to our cast, but also to Rough Draft Studios for their fabulous work, and director Frank Marino, who directed that little clip you just saw. They have a huge operation in South Korea, and that's where we've always done the digital painting. It's called Digital Ink and Paint. That's where they do the final in-between frames and the coloring of the whole show. So a little bit more of the final stages of work are being moved there, and that's where we save a little bit more money. But it won't show on the screen. They have trained all the people there to do the stuff that needs doing.